It's a duality you could be living with. So I suppose the first place to look at is tasks are going to feel harder in isolation. So the same task, fear, or decision can feel overwhelming alone, but manageable with support. Why do we think we need to feel the need to isolate ourselves when it comes to issues?
Because you don't want to be a burden on other people.
Do we think that coming to people with problems, either business, social, relationship, however you want to look at the problem, is being a burden to people?
I don't think it is. As I say, I think it helps deepen the relationship. But I think the automatic assumption, if you've got a problem, is you feel powerless. So it takes quite a lot of ownership to go, oh, I just don't know what to do here. And then to reach out to the person and lay it all out for them. You don't want any sort of negative feedback. Like, oh, don't be so silly, you can just crack on with this. Or
So it's almost a fear of vulnerability, as well as paired with the thought of being a burden. Do you think those that maybe feel like they've got a stronger sense of self or a more understanding of who they are probably feel less fear in sharing?
yeah, I think so. I think the more confident you are in who you are, across all areas of life, you're going to do better.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I think we also live in a really interesting mindset, and I'd love to know your opinions on this. But we live in a world at the moment that likes to exaggerate difficulty. So we've normalized facing steep hills alone and privately. You know, this hustle culture, this David Goggins mindset of wake up, do the hard thing, do it alone, go where no one else will go. All on the surface, great ideas, but then in practicality can leave someone leaving extremely lonely and isolated, when in reality they can help bring people along with them, support them, live in this nice relationship together where they can coexist, support each other through issues, celebrate the wins, mourn the losses, feel the lows together, but ultimately thrive together. But modern life likes to create this idea of solo hustle.
I think whenever you want to do something like build a business or better your life, you are instantly stepping out of what you would normally be doing with your group of people. So it is inherently isolating because you're trying to do something that nobody around you has done. And then that makes you feel like you can't go to others around you for help because they have no idea what you're talking about. But the reality is you're not really going to them to find the answer. You're going to them for the emotional support to find the answer.
Yeah, it's because we like to glorify overwork, don't we? Like we treat exhaustion as almost like a badge of honor sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're going to resonate with this. Like the sleep is for the weak,
Yeah.
rise and grind mentality, you know, often leads to overworking and burning out, working over hours where you're working at unsociable hours, neglecting relationships because of this solo hustle culture that's been ingrained in us. You know, sometimes we feel like we can thrive in isolation. You know, like we said in our previous episode, you need to find your tribe, your growth tribe, to be able to grow together with. And really having a friend, having a relationship that you can feel like when you're standing at the bottom of the hill or in the mud, they've got your back is incredibly powerful.
Yep.
But we live in this myth of independence as strength. I think men, maybe not especially, but I know I'm speaking from my experience. Men have been told that men need to be strong and stoic and by themselves, and sometimes that's just not true.
Yeah, it's very. The problem is we get so many different sources of information. So one person will say men need to be really strong and don't show any emotion and just face all your problems by yourself. And at the same time, there's the huge culture of men should be more open with their emotions and it's okay for men to cry and all of this stuff. And so you're hearing both messages at the same time, and it's like, okay, well, which one's like, how should I live my life? Like, should I take both of these into account? How do I implement that into it becomes very confusing. So I think people attach themselves to one idea or the other. One interesting bit of information, which I guess is sort of relevant here, is In relationships where the woman is the higher earner, those marriages break down with almost 100% hit rate on that.
Really?